It's the summer of 2016. People are walking into traffic, into fountains, off cliffs. Not because they lost their minds, because they're trying to catch a Pikachu. Now it's 2026. This robot is navigating a city sidewalk with centimeter precision. No driver, no GPS, just a camera and a map. The map it's using? You built it. You, or someone exactly like you, spent years building it. Without knowing. Without being asked. Without being compensated. And the company that made Pokémon Go just sold that map for billions of dollars. Here's what I want to show you. Pokémon Go was not just a game. It was the most ambitious data collection operation ever disguised as entertainment. And once you see how it worked, you'll realize this didn't start with Pokémon Go, and it didn't end there. There is a playbook. 3 companies used it. 3 products you probably know. One system that turned your free time into the foundation of the robot economy. And the last thing I'm going to show you is what that system is doing right now, without you. Pokémon Go launched in July 2016. Within 60 days, 500 million people had installed it. That number still doesn't feel real. 500 million people. In 60 days. The game was simple. Walk around the real world, point your phone at your surroundings, and catch digital creatures that appeared overlaid on reality. To find them, you had to go to specific locations. Pokestops, gyms, arenas. Those locations weren't random. They were placed to maximize coverage of every major city on Earth. Every time you went to a Pokestop, your phone captured the surroundings. Every time you scanned a landmark, you photographed a building from a specific angle at a specific time of day with the exact position, orientation, and movement speed logged in the metadata. For 10 years, millions of times a day, across thousands of cities. The result? 30 billion images. Ground level, geotagged, time-stamped. Each location captured in rain, sun, dawn, midnight. The most detailed pedestrian-level visual map of the world ever assembled. Why does this matter? Because GPS fails in cities. Stand between tall buildings and that blue dot on your phone drifts 50 meters. Wrong block, wrong direction. For a delivery robot that needs to stop at the exact right doorstep, that's the difference between a business and a failure. In 2025, Niantic sold Pokémon Go to a company called Scopely for $3.5 billion. But they didn't sell the data. They kept it, spun out a separate AI company, Niantic Spatial, and retained every one of those 30 billion images. In March 2026, Niantic Spatial announced its first commercial deal. Coco Robotics. Around 1,000 delivery robots in Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, Jersey City, and Helsinki. Those robots now navigate using the map that Pokémon Go players built. The players were never told. While you thought you were the player, the system was using you as the instrument. But here's what should bother you more. Niantic didn't invent this. Wait until you see who did it first. For 15 years, without anyone noticing, you've done this thousands of times. Click the traffic lights, select the crosswalks, identify the motorcycles. You were told it was a security check, proof that you're human. reCAPTCHA launched in 2007. The idea was clever. Use human attention to digitize books that computers couldn't read. Prove you're human, and a library gets scanned. Google acquired it in 2009. By 2012, the challenges shifted. Instead of blurry text, you were identifying house numbers from Google Street View. Then traffic signs. Then traffic lights, crosswalks, bicycles, storefronts. Exactly the kind of objects a self-driving car needs to recognize. A 2023 study from UC Irvine calculated the full scale. 13 years, 819 million hours of human time. At minimum wage, $6.1 billion. Extracted for free. Now, Google has denied that this data trained Waymo. They say the images were pre-labeled, that your answers didn't feed the model. And I want to be honest about that. But consider, Waymo is now worth $126 billion. Its core advantage is visual recognition trained on real-world urban environments. The same environments photographed in reCAPTCHA, pulled from the same Google Street View. Google has never publicly detailed the destination of that data. They never said it went to Waymo. They just never said where it went. Make of that what you will. If reCAPTCHA extracted data as a side effect of a free security check, Tesla took the model further. Tesla sells you a product. You pay $60,000, $80,000 for it, and then the product extracts data from you. Every Tesla is a rolling data collection platform. 8 cameras. No radar, no LiDAR, just vision. Running continuously. Logging everything. Every edge case, every unusual road condition, every construction zone, every near miss. That goes back to Tesla. Into the training dataset for the next version of Autopilot. Tesla calls this fleet learning, and it is a real advantage. No competitor can replicate a dataset built by millions of vehicles driving millions of real-world miles every day. But look at the structure of the deal. The customer who bought the current Autopilot with real money is funding the development of the next version. That they'll have to pay for again. You didn't just buy a car. You bought a job you paid for. 3 companies, 3 products, 1 playbook. Stage 1. Build something people genuinely want. A game, a security tool, a car. Make it good enough that millions use it every day. Stage 2. Collect data silently as a byproduct. Not illegally, it's in the terms of service, but not transparently. The part about your data potentially building navigation infrastructure for autonomous vehicles, nobody reads that far. Stage 3. That data becomes a proprietary asset worth billions. Sold, valorized, deployed to build products that compete with human labor. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I agreed to the terms. Nobody forced me to play Pokémon Go. That's the correct answer to a slightly different question. The question isn't whether the consent was legal. It was. The question is whether it was meaningful. In 2016, did you understand that your Pokémon Go scans would guide robots delivering food in Los Angeles a decade later? Nobody did, because nobody said that. The repurposing wasn't disclosed. The destination wasn't described. The consent form covered the transaction. It didn't describe the product you were helping to build. Here's where it gets stranger. The robots now navigating with Pokémon Go data, they're also generating new data. Every delivery, every sidewalk, every building gets logged and fed back into the model. Niantic Spatial calls it a living map, one that updates as the world changes. That gets more precise the more robots use it. The human labor phase was never the goal. It was the bootstrap. 500 million people walked around cities for years, unknowingly building the training ground for a robot economy. Now that the ground is built, the robots are doing the maintenance. The original contributors, you, are no longer needed for this part. So here's the question I keep coming back to. If in 2016, 500 million people built the navigation layer for the robot economy without knowing it, what are we building right now? Every app that asks for your camera, every platform that rewards you for your time, every game that sends you to specific locations. Is it a product? Or is it a factory? Think about that the next time an app asks for your camera.